Hi everyone, I'm really missing seeing you all, so I'm glad that tonight I'm going to be reading you a little story. It's called Little Beaver and the Echo. Little Beaver lived all alone by the edge of a big pond. He didn't have any brothers. He didn't have any sisters. Worst of all, he didn't even have any friends. One day, sitting by the side of a pond, he began to cry. He cried out loud, and then he cried out louder. Suddenly he heard something very strange. On the other side of the pond, someone else was crying too. Little Beaver stopped crying and listened. The other crying stopped. Little Beaver was alone again. Boo-hoo, he cried. Boo-hoo, said the voice across the pond. Ha-ha-ha, said Little Beaver. Ha-ha-ha, said the voice across the pond. Little Beaver stopped crying. Hello, he called. Hello, cried the voice from across the pond. Why are you crying? Asked Little Beaver. Why are you crying? Asked the voice from across the pond. Little Beaver thought for a moment. I'm lonely, he said. I need a friend. I'm lonely, the voice said from across the pond. I need a friend. Little Beaver couldn't believe it. On the other side of the pond lived somebody else who was sad and needed a friend. He got right into his boat and set off to find them. It was a big pond. He paddled and paddled, and then he saw a young duck swimming in circles before him. I'm looking for someone who needs a friend, said Little Beaver. Was it you who was crying? I do need a friend, said the duck, but it wasn't me who was crying. I'll be your friend, said Little Beaver. Come with me. So the duck jumped onto the boat. They paddled and paddled. Then they saw a young otter sliding up and down the bank all by himself. We're looking for someone who needs a friend, said Little Beaver. Was it you who was crying? I do need a friend, said the otter, but it wasn't me who was crying. We'll be your friend, said Little Beaver and the duck. Come with us. So the otter jumped onto the boat. They paddled and paddled. Then they saw a young turtle. We're looking for someone who needs a friend, said Little Beaver. Was it you who was crying? I do need a friend, said the turtle, but it wasn't me who was crying. We'll be your friends, said Little Beaver and duck and otter. Come with us. So the turtle jumped onto the boat, and they paddled and paddled until they came to the end of the pond. Here lived a wise old beaver in a mud house, all alone. Little Beaver told him how they'd paddled all across the pond to find someone who was crying. It wasn't the duck, he said. It wasn't the otter, and it wasn't the turtle. Who was it? It was the Echo, said the wise old beaver. Where does he live? Asked the little beaver. On the other side of the pond, said the wise old beaver. No matter where you are, the Echo is always across the pond from you. Why is he crying, said Little Beaver. When you are sad, the Echo is sad, said the wise old beaver. And when you're happy, the Echo is happy too. But how can we find him and be friends with him, said Little Beaver. He doesn't have any friends, and neither do I. Except for me, said the duck. And me, said the otter. And me, said the turtle. Little Beaver looked surprised. Yes, he said, I've got lots of friends now. And he was so happy that he said it again loudly. I have lots of friends now. And from across the pond, a voice answered him. I have lots of friends now. You see, said the wise old beaver, when you're happy, Echo is happy. And when you have friends, he has friends too. Hooray! Shouted Little Beaver and duck, otter and turtle. And the Echo shouted back to them, Hooray! I hope you've enjoyed tonight's story. I'll see you again soon.